um Stingray, and I'm tired of working for a system that does not give a about me. You are just another body. In the long term, you don't matter. Maybe you matter to the people you work with, but you die tomorrow. They're gonna replace you in 2 days. Like, why would I give my time, my effort, my energy away to something or somebody that will so easily replace me without a hesitation? I'm so done with the working world. Hey guys, so I have had 4 different jobs in the span of the last 4 months now. 3 out of 4 of them are trash. Even though one of them supported me for the last 3.5 years. The other 2, dislike, not good. The other one, the outlier, I will talk about in a little bit, but I'm just gonna say that this video is going to be somewhat of a rant. I'm going to try to make it as comprehensible and concise as I possibly can. Try to hit all the points that will be the main concern here, and that is the fact that working is a scam. Working is a literal scam. I'm so done with the working world. I'm gonna try not to spaz out and just dissociate. I'm going to try. Holy crap, my face was red for a second. I think it's trying to process the red sweater in my face at the same time. I'm going to try not to dissociate within this video and make it as clean and concise as I possibly can. 4 months ago, I worked at this steakhouse in one of the tourist areas in my hometown. That was a pretty good job. That was like my 3rd job ever, and it supported me throughout the majority of my adult life. I'm spazzing out. Why does my face look so washed out? That job supported me for the majority of my adult life. I was able to live comfortably, I could save money, and I had a decent amount of money in my bank account. That was my 3rd job ever. Towards the tail end of that period, I started to get depressed, really sad, and I didn't want to work. I didn't want to go to my job anymore and do what I was supposed to do because it felt so meaningless. After a certain point, you realize that some of this work is just not essential. I don't have to be taking dishes off of these rich people's tables for a little bit of chump change. I mean, not chump change, I'm making money, but a lot of it is just tips. And since tips are not required, those could go at that form of income could go at any second. So now that we kind of have that baseline of why I'm going on this rant, let's go into the process of me quitting that job and leaving to the next one. I currently work at should I even say? I probably shouldn't say, but I'm a server at this restaurant, and it pays the bills. I'm not rolling around in money, but I'm also not really struggling in the sense where I can work 3 to 4 days and be okay. But while I was in this job, and I'm still in this job, I was looking for other jobs on the side to try to make an income elsewhere, or to try to support myself in a way that I would actually enjoy. Because working in the restaurant industry, it's like a cash grab. And honestly, doing anything that you don't want to do to get by is insufferable. It's all just a cash grab to try to get by. And you're not living a life like that. You're enduring it. You are trying to survive. and not go mentally insane. The one job that was the outlier for me was this photography job. It was for a company that provided tours for tourists, sometimes locals too, that would go out onto the west side of the island and take people to see sea life. And I was training as a photographer on that boat for that company for a few weeks. I kid you not. This was the best job. This was the dream job. That was the job that I wanted. I needed that job. Why? One, because it's a creative endeavor. I get to take pictures of people. I get to take pictures of sea life and animals. Not only that, but you got to go in the water with an underwater cage with your camera and take pictures of sea turtles, of stingray, of dolphins. And you got to photograph people having fun in the process, okay? This pains me to talk about because it's like, damn, anyway, the dilemma came when, I forgot to elaborate on the fact of like why I wanted this job. I wanted this job because it's fun. It's a creative endeavor. It allows me to build my resume as a creative person, taking pictures of people and of animals in the wild. That would have helped me to build my portfolio like exponentially, and it would have allowed me to better understand the technical aspects of being a creator in general. That's why I wanted the job. Now, the reason it didn't work is because, one, this is gonna sound really stupid, but I sink so badly. You know how most people float in the water, right? I don't float. Part of that is because I have very low body fat percentage, so my muscle density enables me to just fall straight down. And it's not like I'm sinking like a rock. It's like my body sinks just enough so that I cannot keep my face above the water unless I'm consistently holding my breath. And if I'm diving underwater to get shots of people and of like wildlife, I have to breathe. There's no way around that. The second thing is, like, the main thing that really threw me off is I got incredibly seasick. So technically, I'm training to be a photographer for this dolphin tour company, and I'm going through it, man. Like, oh my gosh, like, I love the job. I love being outside. I love the ocean. But dude, this seasickness is kicking my ass. I threw up earlier, overboard. That was like everything I had in my stomach. And I don't know if I can do this. Like, as much as I love the job, I love the concept, I love the fact that it's a high value skill that I can build on. Not only the seasickness, but I have to be out there taking pictures in the water too. This is the one area of life where fat people have the advantage over me, because I sink like a mother, unless I have like a floaty or something. Anyway, this is like a little life update slash documentation. Maybe I'll look back on this one day and laugh, but we'll see. I felt it throughout the entire time working there and training. I would feel nauseous during my shifts, and ultimately the last day I trained there, I ended up throwing up overboard. I threw up, partially because I had breakfast not too close to the time of getting on board, but also just because I couldn't hold it down. Like, I couldn't do it, and that's something that I needed to do in order to stay in that job, and I couldn't do it. And who knows, maybe that job wasn't really meant for me, but I feel like it could have lasted a lot longer if I met all the required conditions. Would have been nice, but who knows? Maybe it wouldn't have worked out anyway. I'm so done with the working world outside of that one job that I almost had. I've worked in the restaurant industry now for around 5 years, and I'm so fucking tired of it, dude. I'm tired of it. And I think a lot of people in this modern society also feel just burnt out with living. Like, if you are not doing a job that you love, that you want to be at every single day, then you are just wasting your time. You're just trying to survive day to day. And we don't want to just survive. We want to thrive. We want to live the way we were supposed to live. Being able to save money and invest in things that you want to invest in. Investing in your future while enjoying the present moment. And that's not something we can really do in this common society. I say working is a scam because you're not really living. You're just surviving. You're just trying to get by. And that is not optimal if we want to look back on our lives and be fond of the experiences and the memories that we have of the past. Like I said, I work in the restaurant industry right now. If I don't keep my hand up, there's a lot of stories that I hear people talking about, like employees and the cooks and the servers doing coke in the bathroom and all sorts of substances to medicate themselves to get by throughout the shift. I don't use drugs, never touched nicotine, never tried a vape before, I've never sniffed a line of coke. I've never done that. I have no interest in it. And I can't imagine a life where you are reliant on some kind of substance to get you by throughout life, to try to cope with your existence and merely survive your circumstances rather than thrive throughout them and build a healthy lifestyle around healthy forms of dopamine and what do you call that, like reward system, like natural dopamine, a healthy reward system. I don't exactly know the terminology right now. This lifestyle is not healthy. Relying on something to get you by throughout life, it's not what I want to be in, and it's not what I want to be surrounded by. And if that's the very thing that is keeping the restaurant industry afloat, then I don't want any part in it. That goes against everything that I stand for in this life. And if the only reason I'm really there is to make money, not only am I getting scammed out of my time and my energy and my effort by the company or the corporation which I'm employed by, but I'm scamming myself by staying there longer, and I don't want to be there anymore. The catch-22 is, where do I go? What do I do? I can't stand the fact that there are so many people out there who are going to die looking back, wishing they had done more with their lives, wishing they could go back in time and redo things, because working a job that you dislike, repeatedly going back to the same place of employment every single day, is literally life-sucking. It sucks the soul out of you, bro. And not only that, you're conditioning yourself every single day you go back to that workplace to believe that that is the only reality that you are worthy of. That is the only job you are capable of getting. When I worked back at the steakhouse, it felt as though every single day was the same. Every day I worked was the same day, over and over and over and over. And even though I was making money, even though I was saving and I could buy the food that I wanted. I could, purchase nice equipment. That was never the long-term goal. I felt like I was dying inside. I was, in fact, dying inside. Because although financially I was secure, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, I was deteriorating from the inside out. And that ultimately was the root of my depression. And the root of, and I hate to label it like depression or whatever, because depression only really exists if you choose to focus on it. But that is the main reason so many people are unhappy in this life, is because they keep going back to a job that they don't want to go back to. I'm tired of working for a system that does not give a shit about me. You are just another body. You are just another worker to get work done. You don't matter. In the long term, you don't matter. Maybe you matter to the people you work with, but to the job, the corporation, whatever business, you die tomorrow. They're gonna replace you in 2 days. Like, why would I give my time, my effort, my energy away to something or somebody that will so easily replace me without a hesitation? Like, oh, condolences for your family. Oh, can we get somebody to replace this dude real quick? Thank you. Like, you don't matter. You don't matter in that sense. Look, you matter so much. I'm gonna look you in your eyes right now. You matter so much, but to your job, they don't give a fuck about you. Like, they don't. That's the unfortunate reality. There are so many gifted, so many talented people out there that are trapped inside the system. They don't know what they're capable of yet. They could be accomplishing so much more. They could be doing so much more. But they're distracted by what is in front of them. By instant gratification, by fast food, by streaming services. Our modern society essentially is neutering us and making us weaker to keep us in line and to keep us in check. That's kind of off topic though. The topic of this video is that working is a scam and that you are better off being homeless and happy than living stuck in this society working a job that you hate. About a month ago, 2 months ago now, I was kind of in between jobs, and I was in between that steakhouse, the new serving position that I'm at right now, and the dolphin tour. I had just quit the steakhouse. I was at the serving position, and I was also training for this photography position for this dolphin tour. And in between that time, I found that I was extremely happy. I was not nearly as depressed as when I was working at that steakhouse. Because when I worked there, I specifically remember getting into work, dreading the next 7 to 8 hours, asking myself during the entire shift, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? How am I going to get out? How am I going to get out? How do I escape this jail that I've created for myself, where I'm currently living a life that relies on this income that I'm making from it? And when I finally left, I felt that weight lift off my shoulders. The only reason it felt as though I was very happy during that period after I quit was because I wasn't working as many days at that serving job while also training for the dolphin tour. Because although I was working, half of the time I was working at a job I didn't like. The other half of the time I was working at a job that I really liked. I wanted to be there. And on my off days, I was always doing something. I was always going on a hike or going for a run or doing something active, fulfilling, rejuvenating, and I was also creating more on the side for my content stuff. And now that employment has fully hit me again, I'm not nearly as happy as I was back then. Not back then, but like last month, 2 months ago. I swear, dude, it's like employment is designed to make us sad. It's designed to keep us sad and not our best selves. I just don't want to work anymore, dude. I'm not like trying to be lazy or anything. I don't want to not do work. I want to do something that I love. I want to make an impact. I want to change the lives of many. And I know it sounds cliche, but like, why are we here? Why else are we here? To exist? No. We're here to positively impact the people around us, to uplift and to improve ourselves. I believe that cannot be done when you are working a job that you absolutely despise, which is the case for the majority of the population, sadly. Bro, it's like, I don't want to be like filthy rich either. I just want to not have to struggle. I just want to not have to worry about how I'm gonna live. I want to buy the things that I want to be able to buy. I want to spend money on like healthy food. And I'm not talking like extravagant spending. I just don't want to worry about money. So many people are worried about money. How am I gonna make money? More money. I don't care. Like, I like money, but it's not the center of my world. I don't care about it enough to be like, how am I gonna make more money? How am I gonna... Bruh, like, I just want to not have to worry. That's it. I keep putting my hands by my face because of the color. Like, it looks so bad when I put my hands down. The thing with that is that you have to find a way to be successful. You have to find the will within you to develop yourself and to build yourself and to learn valuable skills to society in order to teach them in an applicable manner for other people to learn from. Because unless you have an outlying opinion or something that you believe will truly change and impact people around you, then you really are just like another piece in the puzzle. You're another cog in the system until you find what it is that makes you unique. You're going to be working a job that you don't want to work. You're going to be ultimately living a life that you don't want to live. This is why I feel like working a 9 to 5, having a typical job, and mostly a job that you don't want to work, is a scam. Because in most cases, you're working that job, you dislike it, but you need it to get by. You need it to at least survive. But I believe life is more than just surviving. It's about thriving. It's about growing. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And ideally, doing exactly what it is that you want to do, that you believe is your purpose. The fact of the matter is that the majority of people will never find that. They will never actualize their purpose, because that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of internalizing your own issues, finding a way through them, and then coming out on top and saying, I did it. Now here's how I'm going to help other people. I don't know if any of this made sense, but dude, like, this is the dilemma. It's a couple days later, and I realized that I yapped a lot in that video, partially because I had just finished work, and also partially because I didn't really have like a train of thought, and it just kept crashing over and over and over again. But something that I realized after working 4 different jobs in the past 4 months now is that nothing changes. Nothing changes unless you want it to change. again with the cliche sayings, but you have control over what happens with your life. If you have something to say, if you have a dream or a vision that you want to accomplish and you feel like it will make a genuine impact on the world, it is your duty to go and do that thing. Now that I'm kind of over this like whole employment thing and working, it's like I'm just completely over it and I don't want to work. I want to do something that I actually enjoy. I want to do something that I love and that doesn't really feel like work. That is the ideal life. That is the dream job. But the reality is that less than 1% of people will be willing to do what it takes to get to that position. You have to be willing to be the 1% in order to get the 1% desired position in life. You can't be some lazy slob on the couch, wishing for a life, eating potato chips, watching Netflix, doom scrolling Instagram reels, and expect to get the result of the person that has that job that you want. When I didn't really have financial stress working at the steakhouse, I had the stress of feeling lost and confused with what I was really doing with my time. I was living the same day over and over and over again, and it was like, dude, I don't want to live this life anymore. So I stopped. I quit. And I went to a different place, which I'm still at now, as a server. But during this period of like transitioning jobs, I realized I didn't really want to work. As immature and as irresponsible as that might sound, I'm tired of my soul. I'm tired of being depressed. And employment, 9 to 5s and working jobs, especially where you need to cope with the stress and the anxiety that you have during the job, it's not the job that I want to have. And when I switched over from one job to the next, I realized that I traded like spiritual and physical and mental stress for that of the financial stress, where now I have like less than $500 in my bank account, where before I could spend freely. I could buy whatever I wanted and then still save at the end of the month as well, on top of paying rent and utilities and all that adult stuff. I can't really do that anymore. But what I will say is that I have my mental health back somewhat, my spiritual health, and I'm physically well. I feel happier. And although I would like to live in this like Neverland sort of Peter Pan mentality of not having to work and not having to be responsible or take care of bills, I can't do that. And I realize that I have to have a job, and that kind of sucks. But what a lot of people don't have on their side is having ambition, having drive, having a vision in mind for what they want to do, and that's something that I know that I have. The only thing really stopping me is me. In fact, I have a very clear vision of what I want to some degree. I'm stopping myself. Straight up. I'm keeping myself from having the successful life that I want. And you could say like, oh, is there really such thing as a successful life? Yes, it's that of a thoroughly lived life. One where you were truly living out your purpose and fulfilling not only your own purpose, but helping others find theirs as well. And that's just not something that I've found in the last 3 jobs now. Aside from the Dolphin Tour, every other job was pretty depressing. And it's really saddening. Saddening? Is that a word? Knowing that so many people die without having tried or pursuing what they think is right for their lives. And I'm at a point now where I see that the wall that is separating me from what I need to do is all mental. It's all me. Before I was so good at just like putting a pin in my destination and saying, this is where I'm going. This is how I'm going to get there. Screw the fear. Screw the mental barriers. I know that if I continue to work towards this, it's going to work. In a sense, manifestation. Which I do firmly believe in, but I've lost that practice. I haven't done that in a while for anything, and I want to get back into it. I'm going to get back into it. I hope this video tied everything together. If it didn't, then I apologize for my ADHD thoughts, but this is my take on working in the modern society. We're not meant to be like this. We're not meant to be stuck at a desk for 8 hours a day. And I urge you that if you dislike your job, if you don't want to do it anymore, and if you find yourself depressed, living the same day over and over again, and that you want change, the only person that can make change is you. I hope some of this made sense for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If any of this resonated with you, feel free to subscribe. Discord community for any other like-minded individuals, I'm going to leave it in the link below. Also Instagram too, if you want to follow that. Drop me a follow, it'll be appreciated. Do what you can to escape the matrix, because time is wasting. If you have an opinion to say, if you have a value to add to this world, please do that. Please do that for the love of God, because you only have one life. You only have one life to live. So why would you live it for anybody other than the authentic, genuine version of yourself? Truly. Go live it right, please. And I will also do the same. Thanks for listening. Peace.